and we'll go ahead and get started. So basically just going to jump into however the conversation wants to flow. I'm going to just start with a meditation and call in the Reiki energy, and then we'll end with a really nice experience. It'll be the Holy Fire healing experience. I'm not sure if we did this in the program. It's where the energy Holy Fire Reiki comes in specifically to heal a blockage or negative energy in the body. But this experience can actually be shifted a little bit to also be about empowering a goal. And since it's the new moon energy today, I feel like it'll be so nice to release whatever might be preventing us from stepping into a goal, a vision, or a dream that we might have. So that's kind of how we're going to end the second half of today. So let's just come to a comfortable seat with your spine long and roll your shoulders on back, letting your eyes close. And just tuck your chin in just slightly so the back of the neck can lengthen. And reach up strong through the crown of your head. And feel that your breath goes deep into your belly, feeling your abdomen expand so that the lower half of your rib cage can soften. You can let go of all this unconscious tension that we hold within our core, within our breath, which then begins to spread up into the heart. And we kind of create this encasement around the heart, oftentimes unconsciously. But let yourself be welcomed into this space now, feeling held by the soft, nourishing, and loving guidance of just your breath. And as you connect deeper into your breath, that gentle sway of the inhale and the exhale, feel yourself releasing all of the tension of and higher energy, heightened energy of many thoughts, or a lot of inner processing. And as you connect into the breath, all of those many thoughts and processing can really release its grip from you. And you can really allow that to just fall away. And feeling the soft center of your own being. In that space, you can feel your connection to spirit. Maybe it's just a feeling of peace or a visualization of light, or a settling down of the air around you. Maybe your breath starts to elongate. Your inhales and exhales lengthen. And maybe even there's a gentle and natural pause between the in and out breath as your whole nervous system begins to downregulate itself. And now in this space, we become much more receptive to whatever is meant to come through during this gathering. much more receptive to the healing, the guidance, the wisdom, the integration, the insights that are going to serve each of your individual highest good. So as you receive the Holy Fire Reiki, now feel it entering down through the crown of the head and into your heart center, and filling your whole body with this deep, rippling peace and ease and this buzzing life force energy. Feel all of your muscles, your bones softening. And now completely ground yourself into the earth with your next exhale, letting the breath glide you all the way down, feeling the weight of your body secured into this one moment, arriving here now. And so the Holy Fire Reiki is surrounding you individually and us collectively as we go into this talk and this healing. So take a deep breath into your nose and a long, slow breath out. And when you're ready, you can allow the eyes to open, arriving back into the space. Okay, welcome back. I love what a few moments of just like connecting with the breath completely changes the whole energy and frequency of myself, and I can feel it in the whole group. It's so nice. And it feels really good also just to welcome the Holy Fire with us, because that's why we're here, and just to share this energy and speak about it. So I want to just pause and see if there probably might be questions as we go, but I want to see if there's any specific questions that either of you have about Reiki or Holy Fire Reiki or practicing Reiki or anything like that, that you would definitely like to be discussed.
I have a question. What do I need to do to prepare for August 1st? Should I be reading the book ahead of time?
Awesome. Great. I'm going to write down all the questions, and I'm just going to answer them all at once. So one is how best to prepare for Reiki training. This is a great question. I'm so happy you asked it. All right. Any other questions, Rosemary?
And then normally, how do people do one right after the other?
The level 1 and the level 2.
Right.
Okay, great. Awesome. And I'll just ask Cass, and then I'll get to these. Cass, any questions you specifically have?
Just some support in, since I've been attuned to Reiki 1, I haven't been doing a lot of practicing, I realized. I realized when you offered this class that I'm like, oh, you haven't been doing this. So maybe some support in how to integrate it into my daily practices or my, because I'm always looking to better support my own body and those around me. So that would be it.
Yes. Great. I love that. I love all of these questions and things that I wouldn't even have thought to brought forward, but I know so many people are going to have asked. So I'll start, Rosemary, with your first question is how best to prepare for a Reiki training. So What I love about the Holy Fire Reiki is that it's already preparing you for the training, whether you're aware of it or not. The minute you say, yes, I'm going to do this Holy Fire Reiki training, stuff happens in life. Things start clearing out, new perspectives start coming in. Sometimes something like physically needs to be healed, new perspectives of relationships, people that aren't serving you are going to leave your life, or new opportunities come. So in that grander scheme, is Holy Fire Reiki is already like with you, like a really beautiful friend that's like, I'm clearing the path so that when you do step into this Holy Fire Reiki training, you come to it in a way that you can receive the information that's going to serve you in that specific moment. So there's that aspect where you don't really have to do much, but just trust that you're already being supported, and that life is transforming itself for you to prepare yourself for this training. There are some things you can do just generally, more logistically, to prepare for the training. Number one, no, you do not have to read the manual. Actually, what happened typically before we did the online is I would give people the manual the minute they came in to wherever I was hosting the training. So nobody actually got to read the manual before until afterwards. And when I first did my Reiki training, I looked at, had the manual, and then I didn't revisit it till like a year later, and then just like devoured the whole manual. It's like, there's so much good stuff in here. I wish I did read it before. So I recommend, though, since you do have it, if you feel inspired to, I would read it. I suggest, just skimming through some of the stuff we actually won't cover because it's a manual for your level 1 and level 2. So some of the stuff like on the distant healing and some of the Japanese healing techniques might not make that much sense, or might seem kind of overwhelming. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like the training is going to be so intensive. It's a 9-hour day. Actually, Kess, I elongated it. We ended at 4:30. It now goes till 6:30 because I was like, we need so much more time together for more space. And so, it's like having a balance between taking in all the information from the manual and then also just trusting that the pieces of information that are gonna need to unfold itself for you will come over time. So I suggest, if there's anywhere to start for the level 1 training, is reading just mainly the history of it. The history of Mikao Usui, the Holy Fire. There's not really that much information on Holy Fire Reiki in your manual. I will talk about that in the training. And going over the hand positions. So for the level 1 is mainly just reviewing the history and the hand positions, because that's mainly what you're going to want to practice there. And then physically, how to prepare yourself is, I've heard a lot of things online, and when I've taken master trainings, and people saying, you need to like fast for a certain amount of time, or cleanse the body before you receive an ignition, and all of those things. And I think taking care of your health is an everyday thing, and is not something that just needs to happen right before we get in ignition, receive your placement, not the ignition. But I've also heard of, if you guys have heard anything about plant medicines and doing plant medicine journeys, they go on like a dieta, which is where you basically are cleansing the whole body to prepare your body to receive this medicine. But Reiki is a little different because we're not actually consuming or taking in a physical substance. It's a spiritual energy that our body is receiving. And it's extremely wise, and it's because it's guided by God. So you're not going to receive a placement, like the amount of energy and the frequency of the placement you receive will be exactly perfect for your body, your physical vessel to handle. That's what's so powerful about the Holy Fire Reiki, is that it's coming straight from God. to you. Source, Great Spirit, Creator, whatever word people use. And so it knows exactly how to work with your energy system, your consciousness, your state of awareness, and your state of being in your physical body, so that you can receive that placement in a way that's balanced, it's harmonized, and you can move forward and integrate it. So that's kind of, I think, does that cover how best to prepare? Do you have any other questions, Rosemary or Cass? Okay, great. And other than that is just also start opening your inner eye more. Like what's transforming in my life as you start walking towards this level 1 training. Is like, well, it's a really big initiation that happens every time I've done a level training up to master. It's a huge shift that happens in my consciousness and in my spiritual life. And so I take it as this, it's exciting and I love learning, but it's also, I take it really, not like serious way, but I do take it serious because it is like an initiation that's happening as you open yourself up to a much deeper spiritual connection, because it's a direct connection to source. So it's just such a beautiful opportunity, and I always just welcome gratitude, like just so much gratitude that Holy Fire Reiki chose me to channel this energy. I really feel that way. It's like, how else does this enter our consciousness? It's it's like saying, like, we want you to be a pure vessel of this energy, and to be able to serve in that way is such an honor. So I just open myself a lot to gratitude for the opportunity to channel this energy, and then to really be able to be my own healer, right? And to heal myself with it. So that's how I suggest best to prepare, not to get too heady of it. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure is absolutely perfect, and you'll be perfectly ready for it. What's nice about Reiki is that anyone can learn it. It's so powerful and so simple. And I love that combination. I don't like a lot of complicated things. I think that's not too much fun. But that being said, not everybody feels called to do Reiki. So though everybody can do it, not everyone's going to feel called to do it, because there's a specific energetic pull and connection and a slight calling that draws us to it. And it's different for everybody why that is. Okay. So do people usually do the level 1 and level 2 together? So going back to the history a little bit, Mikayo Usui, and I'll talk about this in just a moment. I'll go a little bit deeper into the history. Mikayo Usui is the founder of the system of Reiki that I teach under, which is the Usui Reiki Ryoho, Usui Light Reiki system of healing. But the energy we're using is Holy Fire Reiki in the system, in the how I teach. But with Mikayo Usui, he received this energy in 1922, so almost 100 years ago. And when he passed, he asked one of his students, who was a master teacher, Hayashi, to continue to expand upon his work and how he taught. And so Hayashi, in the 1940s, I believe it was, so he would actually teach the trainings. It was a 5-day training he would teach. He would do the level 1 and 2. And it wasn't like he was teaching all day. They were giving specific attunements. And back then it was called attunements. With the Holy Fire Reiki, we call them placements. And so it's actually quite common for the level 1 and 2 to actually be just done in one weekend, where people just do it together at once. And then now fast forward to today, the International Center for Reiki Training, who was founded by William Lee Rand. He was the one who channeled the Holy Fire Reiki in 2014. And he also wrote the manuals that you guys have. He also does his level 1 and 2 trainings all in one weekend. And I know some people we'll do like a whole program where they have the level 1 and 2 together. So it's really common that it is done together. And sometimes you don't have to, though. It's not like a requirement at all. I actually took a year in between mine because my Reiki master, she didn't really advertise it as together. I just did my level 1 in 2017, early 2017, and it was just her in her home. Her name's Natalie Imbier. She's a lovely woman in Massachusetts. I just went to her home and we did the training. And then a year later, before I moved to New Jersey, I was like, I want to do my level 2. So that's why I did it before I left. And I think I really appreciated that. So, but that's just my experience. I didn't take the level 1 and 2 really close together, but I tend to notice that with the shift that's happened in the world, where we're connecting a lot more globally, even though places are opening up, so to speak, it's like we kind of shifted our perspective of ways to connect, and it doesn't just have to be in person. And I think people are starting to understand the concept of distant Reiki a lot more than previously. So when I first would do Reiki, most time people are like, oh, I don't want to do distant, I just want to be in person, because they just felt like it was more powerful if it was in person compared to doing it in distant. And that's just not the case at all. Distant Reiki is just as profoundly powerful as it is in person. There's no difference in the healing qualities, and it's different for different reasons, but both are just so powerful. So why would someone take a level 1 and 2 together? Well, the level 1 allows you to do Reiki through just touch. So touching your body, touching someone else's body, holding an object, or like a close distance. So say I was like cleansing the aura around my body, such as that. Now with level 2, you get to do the whole distant healing, which is you learn 3 Reiki symbols, which allow you to send Reiki at a distance. And this goes beyond time and space. So you can basically, it just takes your Reiki connection to Reiki to another level, and your ability to work with it and integrate it into your life to another level as well. And so you can send Reiki to a past experience. Say you experience a traumatic whatever, and it keeps coming up. You can send Reiki to the past. You can send Reiki to the future if there's something that's causing anxiety or you're worrying about something, or you just want to send blessings to something in the future, or your future self you want to connect with. You can connect with Reiki. Reiki is like a direct spiritual connection to almost anything. So your future self, your past self. You can also help to serve other people. You can send Reiki with distant Reiki, like 1,000 people at once, because you don't have to just put your hands on each individual. You could send it to like 1,000 people. You can send it I really use it as a way of prayer, as devotion, and just sending healing. And it helped, the distant Reiki really helped me also develop. Every time I did a new training or received a upgrade in the energy through the ignitions or the placements, I was able to deepen my connection to the energy, to the healing, and also it unlocked my own connection to my intuition, my ability to connect with Holy Fire Reiki, with my spirit guides, with my higher self, and with God. And Holy Fire Reiki is really the reason I feel it's really been my guiding force in my whole spiritual journey and spiritual unfoldment. So taking the level 1 and 2 together, again, not necessary at all, but people do it for many reasons, because the level 1 will only take you to touch, and then the level 2 just expands it to a whole different level of experiencing and sharing this Reiki. And so I always really kind of, I hold them close together, because I know a lot of people do want to do them together. And I realize that doing them in one weekend can be a lot. So I kind of have them somewhat together. So yeah, the level 1's on the 1st and the 2 is on the 15th. And I know Cass, you're going to be joining in on that one as well. So Any other questions, Rosemary, on the level 1 and 2? Okay, Cass, any questions for you? Okay, great. Okay, so the support. Yeah, so after we do Reiki, this happens all the time with the Reiki is, oh my gosh, I just received this energy and I'm not using it. And then there's this fear of like, I'm losing it. I don't feel that connected to it. And the beauty of Reiki is that it's never going to go away. Once you're placed with this energy, it's always with you. And of course, the more we use something, the more connected we feel to it. The more we talk with a friend, the more connected we are to that friend. It's just the way it is and the way life is. So I love this question. It's like, well, if I'm not doing actual sessions on people, which a lot of people don't do after level one and 2, a lot of the people I work with aren't, just full blown going to have a Reiki business like myself. It's more so, I just love this energy, feels great, and it's so empowering to have it for yourself. And it opens up a completely different perspective of life. So in order to, how I incorporate it into my life is it's in my hands always, right? So if I'm like holding, if I get a chance to hold Leela and she's like really heightened energy, I'll either be holding her on my heart and sending Reiki out through my heart, because Reiki doesn't just send to the hands, it sends to anywhere in your body. And so if I'm holding like Leela, my daughter, I'll have Reiki being sent to her, or just like cupping my hands on her back, Reiki being sent. So you could be doing it. How else I do it is it's really a conversation that happens in my head often in really stressful, tense situations, in the middle of conversations, or if something is triggering or anything like that, I'll literally just say, Holy Fire Reiki, be here now, like in my mind. And I'll feel, how right in the beginning of the meditation, when we called in the Holy Fire Reiki to come to the crown and the heart, that's you working with Holy Fire Reiki. The Holy Fire Reiki wants to come in and is always there for you. So it doesn't just have to work as you like laying down doing a session. It's an actual living aspect of healing and evolution that can happen with this energy. So if I'm having like a really tense conversation, I'll always call in to enclose us with the Holy Fire Reiki, so that our words are guided by love, by compassion, clarity, not like too much emotional instability happening. And that's kind of how I do it through day to day. I'll also, when I'm making cacao, or if I make food, I'll put holy like Reiki in my food. If I'm pulling oracle cards, I'll call in the Holy Fire Reiki. So it's more so just a mental like, hey, be here. Be here with me now. Guide this, my words, my actions, because to me, Holy Fire Reiki, again, is a direct connection to source. So when I open that channel of Reiki, I'm opening the channel of source to come through to guide my words and actions, and to infuse whatever I'm doing with that Reiki. If I'm like massaging my body, putting some oil on, feeling Reiki come through my hands, just whatever we can do to bring some more intentionality into our life, you can kind of just call on the Holy Fire Reiki, and it just really encases you in so much love. But other ways you could do it is, since I'm looking outside in nature, I mean, you can give Reiki to the earth. Anytime I'm doing intention setting, always calling the Holy Fire Reiki in. So with this new moon today, actually a friend just sent this seed paper that I guess you can write on it, and then you plant it, and then it actually like grows into like flowers, which I was like floored by. I was like, this is so amazing. And so she sent me that. So we're going to do that today. And anytime I'm doing any intentions, I'm always sending Reiki to the intentions, giving it to the earth. Maybe you see the sun rise or the sun set, and you just want to like send Reiki, to the beauty around you. So there's just so many ways to bring it through beyond doing a session. But in other ways, my main way of doing Reiki is through sessions. And so I'm always, doing the full-on sessions. And that's really where I feel the energy grow stronger and stronger and stronger the more I work with it, because I'm usually sitting down for like an hour to an hour and 15 just channeling Reiki, and it does become powerful. So I do suggest, if you're not doing sessions on other people, at least like once a month doing a nice deep session for yourself, or watching some of the YouTube videos that I have shared with you guys, those 30-minute guided visualizations, and receiving the Holy Fire Reiki, because anytime you do healing with Reiki or give healing to yourself, you're building your relationship with it, and it becomes stronger and a more integrated aspect of your life. So any questions, or did that spark up any ideas of how else you could use it? Yeah, awesome. Great. I would love to hear other ways you guys think you could use it.
I was feeling that I could just incorporate it into my daily ritual, my morning routine, in as a prayer to guide me throughout the day. Just as I call in my guides for a guide, it's just add that to my guide as
Yeah.
it's a guide.
Yes.
So and then I had forgotten about the just calling it in during a tense situation or a strong emotional situation to help calm. So yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cassie. I see Holy Fire Reiki as one of my guides. Whenever I'm calling in my spirit guides, I'm like, Holy Fire Reiki, be here too. So yeah, exactly. Awesome. Rosemary, do you have any feedback or comments, or did that spark any inspiration for you eventually when you've received the level 1?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the session, and then I'll see how I understand it and
Yeah.
me.
And so I'm also looking at your plants behind you, and plants love Reiki. You can send Reiki to your plants, and if you have like the animals too, they just love it. You can bless your whole home with it. So say like, you have like you just had like a really intense work day, like at your house. You're like, okay, I need to like just clear this energy out. You can just like literally like bless all the whole space with Reiki, just cleansing all of the walls, the floor, the doorways. It's so nice, and it just clears the whole space.
Really looking forward to it, to
Yeah.
experience the whole thing with you.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, so we're actually just going to go straight into the experience, since we had you guys. These were great questions. So get yourself set up in a comfortable place. If you would like, put the song on, Julie True. I will put it's on YouTube, I know that. Or put any of your own music on that you would like. Julie True, Healing Presence, that 30-minute long song. And I'm going to start talking about this experience while you guys get yourself all set up. So this specific experience, again, will be a short guided visualization. And before we go into the healing experience, you're actually going to be visualizing in your body where that blockage lies. So you're going to actually see, okay, this is where the specific blockage lies within me that's maybe preventing me from stepping into my goals of what I'm visioning and calling in. So in order to do that, first, we'll take it a few steps back and really sit with, especially with this new moon energy, is what am I calling in? What am I aligning with? What am I embracing in my life? Or how do I want to adjust things just a little bit so I can feel more fulfilled? Or what habit have I been living out that's not serving me, and how can I adjust that? So kind of just really simple. Maybe there's something more intentional, like powerfully intentional, that you want to shift or call in, but whatever it might be, you're going to really settle on that intention of what you're empowering. And then whatever needs to be healed is going to reveal itself, so that you have a clear pathway to achieving that specific intention and goal. So go ahead and get yourself in your comfortable space, closing your eyes. So in this experience, when you're focusing on this goal, sometimes there's something that needs to heal before it can be fully achieved. There's sometimes maybe unconscious or negative feelings or thoughts about the goal that are blocking its achievement, such as fear of failure, fear of success. Very couple small examples. There could be so much more though. But you're going to focus on this blockage, and they're going to be released during this Holy Fire healing experience. You might also, during this experience, receive some insight about the goal and the guidance for making plans. Sometimes a particular goal might not actually be in harmony with your life path. And in this case, you're going to become aware of if your goal needs any adjusting or clarification. You're going to be focusing on this goal, what you're empowering, what you're calling in, your intention throughout this experience. So first, go ahead and just take a moment to sit with inside yourself of what is your goal, your intention. What are you calling in? What do you want to align with? Whatever it might be, and just let yourself really settle into that. As you focus on that specific goal, intention, or alignment, you're going to ask yourself, what might need to be healed in order to align with that intention and goal? It's okay if you don't know the answer. And so even if you don't know the specific answer, or maybe you're given one, either way, we're going to locate where that specific blockage is located in your body. So that the Holy Fire Reiki energy is going to come in, heal that blockage so that you have a clear path to achieving that specific goal. So if this blockage were to be located somewhere in your physical body, where would it be? Sometimes it's more than one location. That's okay. You can focus on both. And just trust where you're being guided. Now, if this blockage, you're going to begin to visualize the actual energetic image of this blockage to get a really clear picture of it. So if this blockage or blockages had a shape to it, what would the shape be? What would the texture of it be, the color, the size? If there's a temperature or sound to it or weight? Just getting all of the qualities that you can possibly perceive from this blockage. You're going to be focusing on these blockages with the intention of letting it go as we begin the healing session now. So envisioning that it's a beautiful day, warm and sunny, and that you're walking down a path in a beautiful forest. And as you breathe into yourself, you breathe in the life energy of the forest. And with every step that you take, you feel that the energies of the earth flow up to the bottoms of your feet, through your body, and you feel a deep connection with the earth, as if you're merging with every step with the earth. And as you continue to walk along, you notice that another path is going off to the right. You feel compelled to follow this path. As you follow this path, you come to a clearing in the forest. In the middle of the clearing is a small hill covered with soft grass. Climb up the hill, feel the grass rubbing against your legs. When you get to the top of the hill, lie down in the soft grass. Feel the grass and the earth beneath your body and gaze up into the sky. Gaze up into the sky and see the beautiful white clouds. And as you're gazing up at the clouds, a beautiful beam of light begins to shine down through the clouds. And this is no ordinary light. It comes from high in the heavens. The light shines all around you and flows into you, filling you with warmth and feelings of safety and love. The light focuses directly on the shape. Focus on the shape and be willing to let it go. Now gaze directly into the light. And as you do so, the light begins to guide you. Follow the light. taking a deep inhale through your nose. And a long, slow exhale. Keep your eyes closed, but just deepen into your breath to come back into your physical body. And noticing now what the blockages might look like, if they've transformed, released, cleared, what's in place of them, whatever you're being shown, just witness it. And then reminding yourself of your intention, your vision, your goal, and claim that for yourself now. Breathe it into your conscious awareness as a woven thread of who you are. Feeling and experiencing the fruition of this vision, this goal, already here in the now. And then taking one more deep breath into your nose. And a deep exhale, letting yourself slowly arrive back into the space at your own pace, in your own time.